my name's Robyn Cavallaro. I'm a licensed realtor here in the state of Florida. I primarily sell in the villages. If you're looking to buy or sell a home here, call me. I'm your girl. All right, today, very important topic. Do you really need a realtor to help you buy or sell a home here in the villages? And of course you know my answer. But, oh man, that was Amazon. They left. I'm waiting for something. Anyhow, there's a lawsuit that is coming to a head, and everything probably will hit the fan and be finalized over the summer. And it has to do with how the buyer's realtor is compensated. Now here, currently, the realtors are compensated by the seller. So you list the home, you negotiate a commission with your listing agent, and however they decide they're going to split that, they get a piece, and then another piece goes, you're paying commission to somebody to buy your home. It's not unlike, you know, paying commission if you were selling widgets. You know what I mean? It is an expensive proposition, and you know, I understand it's a big chunk of money. The buyers may have to pay their realtor to help them purchase a home. It will now no longer be part of the listing contract, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, comments in the section below, because any comments you have, I will address them. I may do like a live discussion because this is pretty important, and we're still kind of in the infancy phase. We don't really know exactly how everything is going to play out here in Florida, but I want to make sure everybody's kind of prepared and start to wrap your brain around the fact that to find a professional to help you find a home here, you may have to pay them, and however that is, you know, we don't know. I'm sure every realtor will have their own pricing structure. But so again, right now the seller pays the realtor's commission, whatever it is, whatever you negotiate, 4%, 5%, 6%, 10%, whatever, and however you decide. You know, this is how, what I do is I have a listing. I say, this is how much commission I take. This is what it costs for me to sell your home. You tell me how much you want to pay the other side of the deal. How much do you want to do? Whatever, 2%, 2.5%, 3%, 4%, whatever. What do you want to pay someone to help once they find a buyer for your home? That's, in my mind, that is completely up to the seller. And I leave it up to the seller, and you know, I go through scenarios with them. So that's my process. I don't speak for everyone else. I don't know how other people operate. It doesn't really matter. I only care about what I do. But anyway, so if you're a buyer and you're looking for a home, if you don't pay, if this comes down where the seller doesn't pay the buyer's agent, you would, in essence, you have to pay someone like me. You know, you negotiate a structure ahead of time, or however that works. But if you didn't do that, you would have to call every home and go see every home. And then who's going to write the contract up? The listing agent's going to write the contract. And that might work for you. But you really do want someone on your side, because if you're not here, are they really going to tell you everything that they see wrong with the house? I know with me, I feel this is how I work for my buyers. You know, it's not just looking for the home and getting the code and open the door. It's my expertise of being in our expertise, not just me, all other realtors. I'm going to speak for all of us as a whole here, this moment. You know, we know the market. Most of us know the market. Yes, some of them might not. But you know the market. You know the prices. You know the tax structures. You know the tax bases, how to calculate those things, where to find all the information, making sure that you get the best possible deal for you, and let the listing agent deal with getting the best possible deal for their seller. And there are instances that come up that if you try to do this on your own, I'm telling you, you're gonna call me and say, I wish I would have hired you, because I'm gonna go through two of them right now. I have a closing this week where she got a pre-approval from a local bank to the villages, and they said she would get qualified for 10% down. When we started to go through the process, I don't think they vetted it enough, maybe. because it's a little complicated because of how her pay is structured. I mean, she made enough money, had great enough credit score, but how she gets paid was just not normal. And, they couldn't do it. So I sent her to a gentleman, Daniel from Better Lending Team, that I send a lot, or I refer him to anyone that needs financing. Now, just please understand, Daniel, I refer him because he's professional and he's done good work for me. I'm not compensated in any way, shape, or form. No gift cards, no lunches, none of that. I strictly refer him for his expertise in the lending arena. But just to make a long story short, he worked his butt off getting that loan approved for her. And a couple of other things that the listing agent and I were able to do, and now she's in her home. But you had a team of professionals working for her to get that job done, and now she has her house. And I swear to God, my battery's going to go dead. It makes me nuts because I never forget where I'm at. All right, anyway, a second one of my buyers, they're buying a home, and 18 years ago, there was a slab poured and an enclosure put on, and the permit was never closed out. Well, we found this out during the lien search. We found an open permit, and this happened not with the person that they were buying it from, it was from the previous sale. So, the home closed with an open permit, and I'm not really sure how that happened, but through a team of professionals, the listing agent, myself, her transaction coordinator, and I got a phone call from Frank Slaughter's office. They're a realtor, and I refer a lot of people out to them because I've heard from my clients that they do a really good job. They're out in Wildwood, but she's been selling insurance for a very long time, and she had found out that back in 2004 there was a hurricane, and they were foregoing, some of the counties were foregoing closure of permits. So we are now looking into that because, buying a home with an open permit, it's going to cost a lot of money to try to get that thing closed out if we can't get the proper information. And I necessarily don't want my buyer purchasing a home with an open permit, because then he will have the same problem when he goes to sell it, and I don't want him to have to encounter that. So all of us are working very hard to get this deal done, but would you be able to do that on your own if you were buying or selling your house on your own? I think you would be pulling your hair out. And that's the hardest part, is getting this thing even. So those are just two specific instances. Now, when you hire a buyer's agent, let's just say we're in the climate where you have to pay that person. What is it? I mean, you already know me, and you already know you can trust, and my opinions are pretty spot on. But what do we do? We're researching the homes. We know the specific areas. Negotiating the price, writing up the contracts, any addendums that need to be taken care of, organizing the inspection, reading the reports, filling out, if you need, what needs to be repaired, what isn't going to be repaired, going back through that. There's just a litany of things that you don't realize a realtor does on a daily basis to make sure your transaction goes through, because for the most part, I personally, and I know a bunch of other realtors do the same thing, we kind of shield you. That's what we're here for. We're shielding you from the problems until they become something that you need to know about, because you are the only one that can help us solve the problem. We try to solve the problems for you. That's why we're here, so you don't have to. But yeah, if you had to do that on your own, it could be problematic. Now, some people can do it, some people can't. And the whole premise then, behind this whole lawsuit now is, are you going to be ready and able to pay? I mean, most of the people financially will be able to pay the realtor. Well, the interesting point will be, will the price of the home come down? Because now they only have to pay half of the commission, but they kind of paid for the other half when they bought the house. So now is the house going to go down in value by $10,000 or $20,000, whatever? It's interesting to kind of think through these things, but you have to prepare yourself, buyers and sellers. Because if it's kind of like if you go to buy a home for sale by owner, those can be very problematic because it's too emotional of a sale. You have no buffer zone between you and the seller. They think their price, you think the price is too high, they're too high, they think it's too low, you know, negotiating all of the details of a contract, those types of things. It could be really sticky if you try to do these things on your own. So, you know, there's a lot of information out there about this lawsuit. And like I said, I really wanted to address it so you as the buyer and the seller are kind of aware of what might be coming down the pike. It's a critical time in our industry, and we're not used to seeing things operate this way. But now, you know, we're open to change. We have to go with the change, and there may be some hiccups along the way, but you know, it's we don't have a clear and definite answer right now on how this will all pan out. But well, from what I've read, because a lot of this just came to finalize the NAR lawsuit yesterday, is that by mid-July we'll have some type of resolution on how we're to operate. I believe from what I've read, the sellers, they might not be able to put a compensating commission in the MLS. You know, I don't know, is it done? I mean, obviously when you sell your home, you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to pay me $1 million to bring you a buyer, you can do that, but none of that can be will maybe not be able listed in the MLS. So it's very up in the air, and is going to be very interesting. I think that my personal opinion, you might find a lot of realtors having to get out of the business because they have to confidently display their value proposition, and they might not be able to. I think it's difficult to have to ask people, say, hey, I'm going to show you your house, but now instead of being compensated by the seller, you have to pay me $10,000 or $5,000 or $25,000, whatever that fee is. So we might find a shrinking in the market. And, you know, does this mean that there'll be 3 or 4 people that are listing all the homes? I don't know. Do you really want to have to call every listing agent and make your own appointments and go? Because, I mean, really, it's just such an uncertain time. I mean, I do this all the time. I'm going out with people and I never know if they're going to buy. It's part of being a salesman. You know, I sold commercial insurance, and there were plenty of times I rode around my car all day, and you know, it took me a year or 2 years to finally get someone on board. So, you know, spending time with people and going out and showing, and you know, maybe not getting compensated in the short term, but you get it compensated in the long term. It's just so, I know you're probably like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. What's she mean? Call me, text me, put some comments in the section below, because I'm really interested to hear what you have to say. Because I might even I won't do an open chat on this until we have some real details. This is just, hey, this might happen. But you want to think about that. How and are you prepared that if you need to pay your buyer's agent, how would you do that? All right, anyway, I hope you found this informative. My name is Robyn Cavallaro. I'm a licensed realtor here in Florida. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, you got to give me a call. I'm your girl. All right, everyone, until next time, I'll see you.